was out in Death Valley, a vehicle in another group, and a group of four-wheelers were coming down through Steel Pass. And from what I heard, one of their vehicles got 2 flat tires, right? And typically if you get a flat in the tread, you can fix it with a plug kit, okay? I'm talking about a puncture. So what I carry is, I just got some new ones right now. I got some new ones right now just for demonstration purposes. This is a plug tire kit right here. See that? Show and tell. Okay? Comes with everything you need to plug a tire. Even's got the instructions in the back there in case you don't know. I'm sure you'll find plenty of videos online for this. I'm not going to actually show you how to do this. And they do sell standard plugs, and then they sell extra thick plugs. You might want to carry both with you, just in case. You don't got to use them, people, but at least you know they're there. So this will go in my box with the compressor. Anyway, here's another thing. If you got a slow leak, don't put a plug in it. If you can get to a service station and have the tire fixed properly, do that. Because in order to get the plugs in that puncture, the hole has to be a certain size. Okay? So if you got a really small leak, you're just going to make it worse putting the plug in. Because first you got to make that hole big enough to put the plug in. There's the tool for that. So just think about that. Because I was going to do that one day. I had a slow leak on the Cooper AT3s. I got my plug kit. I'm going to fix that, right? And I got that thing out to plug it in the hole after I took the little nail out. It was like a little brad nail. But it was like, no, that's not a smart idea. It's not leaking that bad. Now it's really going to leak once I put that plug reamer in there. So don't do that. See if you can get to a shop and put a patch on it. Do it right, patch from the inside. Okay, so back to the guy with the 2 flat tires. He actually damaged his tire beyond repair. He got sidewall cuts. I didn't see them, but this is just what they told me. Sidewall cuts. You can't plug a rip or a cut with a plug. So 1 flat, hey, if you got a spare, you're good. 2 flats, boy, you better have 2 spares. Unfortunately, the guy didn't have 2 spares. And I heard it was a 5-lug Toyota because they came and asked me about borrowing my spare, but mine's is a 6-lug. So that wasn't going to work. I don't know what they did or how they resolved the problem. Maybe they went in town and got a new tire, but that's an all-day trip out there to go into town and get a new tire. So, what can you do down there if you rip a tire like that? You're going to need to repair it just enough to hold air so it can get you back to the highway. So what I recommend is carry one of these patch kits with you. See the patch kits in here? 56 patches. It's got 2 2x4 rounded rectangulars, which are that front one there, that's for a radial tire. See that? That's a nice size patch. That may fix a cut depending on how big the cut is. You know, if it's too big, this patch isn't going to do much, but it is possible to temporarily put a patch on there just to get you back to the highway. Number 1, these guys were in a canyon. They wanted to get out of the canyon, at least into the campground there, where the camp host has a sat radio, which is a satellite radio, and get help. Or they could, like I said, they could leave it there, run into town, get a tire, and run back. It's like a 100-mile trip, round trip there. Being a holiday, good luck getting a tire on a holiday. So that's one way to fix that. Another way is to carry an inner tube with you. Just carry a spare inner tube. You know, it didn't hit me till later on. I was thinking, you know, if you had an inner tube, you could probably pop that inner tube in there and, like I said, at least get you back to the highway. So to do that and to patch the tire, you're gonna need to break the tire down. So first thing to do is let the air out of the tire. So the air should be out already. And you're gonna need to bust the bead on here. If it's not busted loose already, you're gonna have to bust the front and the back side, which is push it down off the rim. Now, there's tools to do that. You know, I used to work at a tire shop. We used to have the Coach 2020, which had an arm that came out and it was like a curved piece on there, semicircle, and hydraulically busted the bead down on top and the bottom of the tire. But you're gonna have to do this by hand. So if the tire's already trashed anyway, you can have another vehicle run the tire over for you, run the sidewall to pop it off the bead. You want to bust it off the bead all the way around. Flip the tire over and do the other side, so now the tire is loose. The bead's loose on both sides. And if you don't have another vehicle around, you can always use your jack, the jack for your vehicle, for your spare, your tire. Find something you can shove the tire underneath of and put the jack on there, so the jack will, as you're raising, while you're supposed to be raising, but as you're activating the jack, it will push down on the tire. You may be able to get up there and stomp on it. So that's number one. And so the next thing you got to do is take the tire off the wheel. So they sell these tire irons at Harbor Freight. I really don't know how good they are. I've never used them. They look kind of thin to me for prying tires, but hopefully you have experience working on bicycles and putting tube in a bicycle. This is the same thing, it's just bigger. You're going to need to press down on one side of the tire to get the bead into a groove. There's a groove on the wheel. Let me show you here. Well, you can see actually on the rim how it indents. So this center section is a smaller diameter than the ring nut here, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, because you need to get this bead, which is just about the same size as the outer ring on the rim here, off the wheel. It's a tight fit. So if you push the bead down on this side into that groove, now you can stretch the whole bead over to get it over the edge here. Gosh, I wish I had I wish I still worked at the tire shop. I could show you how to do this properly, but so you're going to want to push this side down. So when you grab the edges of the tire with this, it's going to stretch. This bead is going to go down into that groove, which is going to give you that little bit of stretch you need to put these in, hook the bead and pull it up, and then you'll just work it around till you get it all on there. So there you got half the tire. You may be able to, I'm getting winded just doing this. But anyway, now you can get inside the tire. You can open up the tire, get your hands in there, do the patch thing. This patch kit comes with, a metal scuffer. Probably a little cheap little thing, good for one use, but it's better than nothing. This ain't professional stuff, you know. This is like one-time use stuff. Yeah, it's a little piece of crap, see? You need to get in there and buff the rubber around the damaged part bigger than the patch. You know what I mean? You don't want to go smaller than the patch, you want to go bigger than the patch so it overlaps. So you buff it up real good, then you clean it off real good with whatever you got, preferably if you got some alcohol or something to get rid of any loose particles on there. And then we got the vulcanizing fluid in here. Here it says rubber cement, but yeah. You put that on evenly, the same thing. It's a little bit bigger than the patched area, so you make sure you get enough of it all over the place. Then apply your patch. Now these radial patches go in a certain direction, see? Bead. The bead, you know where the bead is, right? So this patch should go like that. Even on the sidewall, it's gonna go like that. It's got little arrows, it'll show you. But it's only got, I think, 2 of these. So you better do it right the first time. All right. So that would take care of that. Hopefully the patch adheres like it's supposed to and you did everything right. You got the patch in there. You're supposed to roll it with the tool. It didn't come with that tool though. It's just a little wheel. You roll it back and forth to make sure it's smooth down there and it's adhered properly, but it don't have one. Damn, I was gonna buy one too. I thought it came in the kit. Okay, so you got all that on. Now you gotta get the tire back on, right? So get your tire irons back out again. Just do everything in reverse. You're gonna have to push one side of the wheel on, one side of the bead down under the lip of the wheel, and then work your way around. If you got a little soapy water, that helps the rubber and the bead slide around the rim. Okay, any kind of slope, so it's just something slippery, so it'll pop back on there. And that's the next part, is getting the bead to seat. Yeah, getting the bead to seat. I am running a 8-inch wide wheel here on a 12.5-inch tire, so these wheels fit pretty tight. I shouldn't have too much of an issue seating the bead on here, but if you're going with wide wheels, you might have that issue. In the tire shop, we got a bead seater tool, which just gives it a good blast of air to pop that bead on, and then you fill it. But on this case, it may be an issue to seat the bead. Now there's some videos you can find on YouTube where these guys use lighter fluid and stuff like that. That's one way to do it. It's dangerous, but that's, if you got to do it, you got to do what you got to do. These air up pretty good. No need for there's not a big issue with inflating the beads or seating the beads on these. Yeah. Because if the beads aren't seated, you're not going to get no air in the tire. The air is just going to escape out. Once you get those beads on there, once you get the bead around the rim of the tire there, then you just got to air it up. And typically these tires will pop into place. In doing that though, you don't want to exceed the maximum rating on the tire. If the tire says 50 psi max, don't go over 50 psi trying to seat the bead. Okay? That's another reason why for putting soap on the bead in the rim there, to help it pop on the rim. They fit tight, so it's got to slide on there. If you put a little soapy water in there, it'll pop back on there easy without having to put an excessive amount of air in the tire. Back in the day, I was working at Montgomery Ward, and the guy came in with some Norseman Armstrong Norsemans. They were the original Fun Country tread design. That was from Armstrong tire and rubber. And it says, clearly stated on the tire in big letters, do not exceed 30 psi. Do not exceed 30 psi. So the installer is trying to seat the bead on there. This guy Arnold. So Arnold, he's kind of new, but he's over there putting air in that the tire's pumping up, but the bead's not seating. And he's putting air in it and putting air in it. And I go, hey man, be careful with those tires. They wouldn't seat. And the boss came over and told him, just put more air in there, it'll seat. Yeah, right. Thing blew off the rim. The bead actually broke. The bead of the tire broke and popped off the rim. Hit him in the leg, not too bad, but man, it was a big kaboom. Yeah, that shook everybody up. Arnold's walking around, oh man, oh, what the fuck. It's dangerous, dangerous. Be careful seating them beads. Okay, so hopefully that'll save you any emergency situations if you're stuck like those guys were with 2 flat tires. Take a plug kit, take a patch kit. If you can get a spare inner tube, take an inner tube with you. They're only about 25 bucks, I think. You're probably gonna have to order one from somewhere though, because I went to 3 different tire shops and nobody had an inner tube in the size that I need. I wanted to bring that for a demonstration here just to show you guys, but this cost me money as it is. Tire irons, patch kits, it's good stuff. I'm gonna use it anyway. I'm just gonna put this in the back of the truck, you know, probably never use them. Hopefully we'll never have to use them. These will go into the back seat. So, that's it for right now. I got some other things to do. We'll talk to you later.